The fact that I survived 2021. Hi, I'm Polly, and I am so happy that we are in 2022 because I didn't live in 2021. I survived, I escaped, but it wasn't it. And I'm gonna explain why it wasn't it in this video. So, the way I like to describe it is 2020 was bad collectively for everyone. 2021 was personally my worst year of life. And I'm just happy it's over. But I feel like now that it's done, I can like sit here, talk about it, get it off my chest, almost like a therapy session now that it's over, and close that chapter so that we can, get into 2022 and forget about 2021. Yes, there were some good things that happened, but let's just get into it. And before you guys say anything, yes, I have 2 nails missing. I peeled them off, and honestly, 2021 me would have waited until I got my nails done to then record this video. But I'm trying to teach myself the lesson. There's no such thing as perfect, and as a perfectionist, striving for perfection ends up hindering me. So forget all of that. We are going to accept mediocrity in 2022. But yeah, let's get into my 2021. Literally a few hours before we got into 2021, me and my family received the news that a family member that was really close to us passed away. You know, us Haitians, we have like family members who aren't connected to us by blood at all, but they're family. She was basically like a grandma to me because I only have one grandma on my dad's side and she lives in New York, so I never really got to spend time with her. But this family member was at every single birthday party and like every family event, and she was really close to us. So losing her, literally finding out before the year started that we lost her, was just rough. So with that being said, in January was when we went to the funeral, and it was the first time that I went to a funeral for someone that I like had a deep connection with. I've been to funerals before, but it's like accompanying my parents and they knew the person. But this is the first time that it's like someone that I knew, someone that I imagined to like, always be there. I will say that she was in her old age and she got to live a really long life, but it still hurt, I wish she was able to see me like get married and have kids and all that stuff, but she wasn't able to. But I know she's looking down at us, and she's still with us no matter what. February, the infamous month of February, was when I got my knee injury, which I think I might have mentioned in the last video or so before this. I got a knee injury at work. It was literally the stupidest way someone can ever get injured. I was laying down on the floor next to a student because I worked at a preschool, and as I was getting up, my kneecap and then went back in. It was literally a few seconds, but that few seconds literally changed my life. So I thought it was gonna be fine. I thought it was like, oh, I just need to ice it. But after one day, my knee like doubled in size. And then the third day after the injury, I finally went to urgent care and they gave me ibuprofen to help with the swelling. That didn't work. A week later, urgent care referred me to an orthopedic doctor. A week later, I finally got to the orthopedic doctor, referred me to do therapy. And a week after that, that's when I finally started therapy. So if you're not paying attention, it took me 4 weeks to finally go to physical therapy. And that's because my workers' comp was horrible. Like I feel like I probably could have a case against them. And also, like, I'm gonna say names. Nibia, hate that woman. Actually, trash. I've never said I've hated someone so much in my life. Hate that woman. Like, my workers' comp took so long to finally do things that, like, by the time I actually made it to the orthopedic doctor, I was literally sitting in my bed for 3 weeks with my leg up, not moving it at all because I didn't want to mess it up anymore because we didn't fully know what was going on. So because of that 3 weeks, I literally lost muscle. You know that phrase, use it or lose it? I literally lost it. Like, my leg was mush. There was no muscle whatsoever. Which is why physical therapy really did help me. So now that we're in physical therapy, that puts us in March. After the 3 weeks of sitting on my bed, I was forced to go back to work, even though I could not bend my knee, because now they had seated work for me to do at work. And if I didn't go to do the seated work, I would not get paid anymore from my job. So I was literally driving my car with the seat all the way back. Mind you, I'm 5'2". I'm not that tall. The seat was like all the way back. I was driving with my arms out like this. My leg was straight. Mind you, my injury was on my right knee, which is the leg that we use to drive. So my leg was literally straight in order for me to drive to work, which is a 30-minute drive. They didn't have handicap parking. So I managed to like, hey guys, it's hard for me to walk. Can you please let me park right next to the school, please? I would open the door, put my brace on, and hobble to the door, where I can't believe I went through this shit. Like, they'd have me do seated work on this video thing that I would do for the kids, and like hot glue popsicle sticks, like really mundane things. And they literally placed me in the computer room, which is a room in the center of the school, no windows. No one would like no one would visit me except for Miss Sue. Shout out to Miss Sue. Love that woman, because if it wasn't for her, I would not have regular visitors. Most of the days I would just be sitting there by myself, and it was not fun at all. I felt the loneliest at that point, and I was crying like every other day, because I'm like, I'm doing the right thing, so why isn't anything working? April was my birthday. I turned 22 with my leg up. Whenever I was at home on my birthday, I had my leg up. I went to work, came back, had my leg up. But the only positive thing from that birthday was that my best friend, who lives in Orlando, came down and surprised me with my favorite food, which is Chili's. And we ate at the table together, and that made my day, because I was already so sad, so depressed over my injury. So the fact that she came and surprised me really meant the world to me. And another thing that happened in April is I went to my orthopedic doctor. He scheduled me for another session of physical therapy. It was my 3rd session. And literally after one session would finish, it would take another week for me to get another session to start. And I was calling the workers' comp person. She would never answer. Then she finally called me. And I was explaining to her, I very obviously sounded frustrated and was like, I really need this to start soon, because I want to start automatically for my 3rd session, not to just keep waiting. And then she literally laughed at me, saying like, oh, I'm stressing out for nothing. Like, he just gave it. I'm like, no, he didn't. He gave it like a week ago, and you still haven't applied it. And then I proceeded to cry in the parking lot of a Bed Bath & Beyond. And like, that was like the ugliest cry I've ever done in my life, like screaming, crying. And I was like, Lord, like, I'm doing everything that I'm supposed to do. They said that I'm supposed to go through workers' comp. I'm talking to the workers' comp people. I'm filling out their paperwork. I'm doing everything, all of the physical therapy. I'm going to all the appointments. I'm taking all the medication. Like, why isn't it working? It was not my finest moment. But now we're in May. In May, I lost my job at the place that I got injured at. And they were like, yeah, you'll still have the workers' comp. And their excuse was that they thought I was moving. Never said I was moving. Maybe I might have implied it when I say that I'm like, eventually I want to move for school. But if I were going to move and leave this job, or leave any job, I would have sent a letter of resignation, which I never did. And they said that, oh, we thought you were moving, so that's why. And also, we don't have any more seated work for you, but you'll still have the workers' comp. I was like, okay. So I hobbled around the school. I said my goodbyes to everyone. Mind you, I was working there for like 3 years. I did like my job, and it was a big lesson to me. Never think that you're really close with the people at the top, or your boss or whatever, because at the end of the day, like, they will fire you no matter what. I mentioned it on my Instagram reels during Christmas, but like, this is the same woman during December. I had her as my Secret Santa, and I went all in on my Secret Santa. And I spent way over the limit, and I really tried to make it special for her because I thought she was like part of my life. Like, I thought we were cool. So then for 5 months later, for that same person to fire me when I'm injured, no. Like, it's not like humans never fail to amaze me. And after that, I was spending most of May on Indeed trying to find another job, and more specifically a seated job, so that I don't have to mess with my knee. In June, we have the best thing that happened, and I got the okay from my orthopedic doctor that I am fully healed exactly 4 months later. So I got injured on February 21st, and I was fully healed on June 21st. Healed as in the fact that I'm able to walk again normally. I still had to, start practicing more and more to walk for longer distances, for longer amounts of time, to carry things while I'm walking as well. But for the most part, I could walk, and that was the best thing to me. And I'm just so grateful. I am so grateful that I have my knee again, because it truly was a lesson of, you do not know what you have until it's gone. I'm just happy that God helped me through that tough chapter in my life. And like, there are moments that I just can't shake out of my head. And being that detached from your body hurt. Any time that I do anything with my knee, when I bend down, I'm like, thank you, God. When I go up the stairs, I'm like, thank you, Lord. Because I could not do that. I couldn't do it for like 4 months. And it also taught me that you cannot expect anything. I would have never thought that at the age of 22 that I'd get injured by not even. I was 21 when I got injured. I would have never thought that at the age of 21 that I'd get a knee injury that lasted 4 months just by getting up. Like, at least if it was like, oh, I was dancing and it happened, or I was doing a incredibly long or difficult, strenuous workout. It was literally from getting up. So you really cannot expect anything in life. You just need to roll with the punches. But the best thing that happened in June was, because I got the okay from the doctor that I'm healed, I was able to go with my family to help move in my brother to college, and I was able to, like, carry stuff and help organize his room, and that meant the world to me because I love my brother so much. And in July, we actually went back to my brother's college to surprise him for his birthday. It was really fun, and he genuinely did not know that we were coming. I was going to interviews during June and July, but I officially got a job in July at a pretty well-known dance studio in the area. I actually used to go to that dance studio when I was little, and I thought it was going to be great. So the job that I got was to be the front desk person at this dance studio, and I was supposed to talk with parents to help them figure out what clothes they have to buy from us, or like to set up payments for the classes, to set up their schedule for classes, etc. But I was supposed to be at the desk. But tell me how, like, from a few weeks into when I started, I was placed in doing summer camp, and then they were like, oh, when summer camp is over, you'll be done with that. I'm like, okay. And then I ended up doing aftercare, and I'm like, okay. Oh, until this person, our new hire comes. And then the new hire came, and I was still doing aftercare. I'm like, what is going on? Like, how am I doing 5 pages of math with these kids and I haven't even touched my own homework? Mind you, once again, this was not the job that I signed up for. I signed up for front desk. But then in August, I found out that 2 of my coworkers were talking about me behind my back, and it managed to get back to me. And like, for those of you who know me, I have never been one of those people to gossip, or I've never even had people talk about me behind my back, or At least if they are, I don't know about it because they're smart and they keep it to themselves. At the age of 22, that was the first time I've ever dealt with some sort of like high school shit like that. And they were like older than me. They were talking bad about me, saying I'm too strict, or like, I don't know, man. Like, they were just saying weird shit behind my back. They don't even know me because, one, I was never doing the job I was supposed to do. So they wouldn't even have been able to spend time with me because I was never at the front desk. And the few moments where I was at the front desk, I was dead silent. I love to talk to people. I am a people person for the most part, but it really just depends on your vibe. And like, if I'm not getting good energy from you, like, I won't be straight up mean, but I just will not talk at all. And I never felt comfortable around those girls. So I didn't talk at all, because if you don't have anything nice to say, you don't say anything at all. So I was really about that, like, quiet. So the fact that they were talking bad about me behind my back when I'm doing so much work, I was doing aftercare, I was doing some front desk, I was doing dismissals all by myself. I was also cleaning the whole top area of the studio and one of the biggest studios in there all by myself, and throwing out the trash and all of that. Mind you, they're just sitting there talking bad about me. Made no sense to me. There was just a moment when I was sweeping and I just stopped, and I'm like, Toussaint Louverture did not die for me to be cleaning up this white woman's dance studio. I should not be working this hard. I just got the okay that I'm okay with my knee. Like, my knee would be swollen after this job because I'd be standing up for way too long. Like, my knee would not be able to handle it. And I'd go back home and ice it like every other night, because no one was helping me. I was doing everything by myself. In the midst of my suffering, God was like, baby girl, I got you. And I was like, thanks, homie. One of the places that I interviewed for when I was still interviewing for jobs called me back towards the end of August. And they were like, oh, we'd love to have you. And I'm like, thank you. In the midst of all this drama, that unnecessary drama, he gave me a way to escape. So I did like the drug test for that job and everything for that job. And the thing is, I was still willing to work at that dance studio just to come right after work to help them with the dismissals and everything like that. And the boss over there was not happy about it, but honestly, I can give a my mental health was just taking a downfall over there. So I left in like September, and one of the dance teachers there, who I actually really liked, she was like, oh, what happened? I explained everything to her, and she did teach me a lesson. She's like, I wish instead of just leaving that you would have spoken your mind and addressed the problem. And I'm like, you know what? That is true. I am still growing. I am learning. I never like confrontation. I would rather drop someone, leave, whatever, before I actually address the problem to try and deal with it. But that is something that I want to start trying to do now. Like, if I see a problem, actually address it and try and fix it before I just leave. But I still have some friends from that job, and they were actually telling me that even after I left, they were still talking bad about me. And I sent this giant email to the boss. I was like, you want to know the real reason I left? You were making me do too much. You didn't keep what I got hired for in mind. You didn't keep my knee injury in mind. People were talking about behind my back like it's high school. So I left. And I had kids telling me about how they're overhearing people at the front desk talk about me. And the fact that a white girl said, Polly, I think this is workplace discrimination, because I've never heard them talk about a white hire the way that they're talking about you, and you're not doing anything wrong. And I was like, if a white girl says that it's workplace discrimination, then come on. If she can't even peep it, if she can't even see what it is, then it is what it is. So yeah, that was my first experience with workplace discrimination. Not fun. Do not recommend. Once again, my God saved me from that situation, and I went to literally the best place I've worked at so far. This is actually the first time that I've been at a place that's diverse. I've never had a diverse job. My first job was literally me and like the owner and her daughter, who were both Hispanic. My second job was the preschool, which was all white, and I was 1 out of 3 people in the whole school system. And it was a preschool, elementary, and middle school, okay? I was 1 out of 3. All right, cool. And then the dance studio, out of like the staff that's not a dance teacher, I was the only black girl, only black person. And then now I'm at this job where like I knew I was where I belonged when I walked in to work on the first day and I saw a teacher that was hijabi. I'm like, thank you, God. There's diversity. There's people of every skin color and nationality and religion, and I'm thriving. By October, I made a bunch of new friends, like friends in the office, friends that are teachers, students that really love me. In November, I went to my first like work gathering, like outside of work, if that makes sense. Because like at the other places that I've worked before, I was very much like get in, get out. I'm not spending time with you people. But this place, I just really like the people. Like, they're really cool. One of my coworkers who works on the high school side, she invited me to her home for like a get together potluck thing, and I went, and it was amazing, and I loved it, and I got to get to know them even more, so now I love them even more. Oh my gosh. In December, if you're not following me, you might not have known this, but I did, instead of like Vlogmas, I did Realmas. I posted a video every single day until Christmas for Instagram Reels, and it was actually pretty fun, and I got some new followers from that. So hopefully some of you guys are watching this, and if you haven't followed, go follow me on the gram. Trying to be more proactive on that. And then the biggest, like, bestest thing that has ever happened to me happened in December. Drum roll, please. I got a car. I got a car. I'm a car owner now. I made a payment a few days ago. God is so good to me. He loves me so much. You want to be on our level so bad. Technically, I got it the end of November, but I started driving it December 1st. With that being said, that is the end of 2021. It was a roller coaster. We had very low lows, and we ended on a very high high. So I really, really, really need this high to continue for 2022 because, oh my goodness, like, the fact that I survived 2021, so I want to be way more productive on this YouTube channel. And yeah, we're going to try our hardest and stop trying to be perfect in 2022. I hope you liked the video. If you love it, make sure you like it. If you want more of it, then subscribe to it. And if you don't want to miss out on it, hit the bell on it. I am so happy that you watched this video, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye! Wow, we really need this YouTube channel to pop off so it can pay for the car. All right, cool. Bye.